The experience of awakening between the precise hours of 3 and 5 in the morning is far from a mere physiological disruption. It represents a profound, universally acknowledged phenomenon. This specific temporal window, before the world fully stirs, holds a unique resonance, often interpreted not as an accidental interruption to slumber, but as a deliberate alignment with subtler, cosmic rhythms. It is a moment when the veil of ordinary perception thins, inviting a deeper engagement with the unseen currents of existence. This pre-dawn interlude, distinguished by its profound quietude and minimal external stimulation, provides an unparalleled environment for introspection. It is a time when the subconscious mind is particularly receptive, and the ordinary static of daily life has yet to intrude. To recognize this hour as an invocation is to perceive beyond the mundane, understanding it as a purposeful call to a heightened state of awareness and spiritual communion. Embrace this specific awakening as a divinely timed summons, an exclusive invitation to connect with dimensions of self and reality that remain dormant during more frenetic hours. It is a sacred opportunity to transcend the ordinary, to listen more deeply, and to prepare oneself for a day infused with profound purpose and spiritual insight. The immediate, often reflexive human response to an unbidden awakening in these early hours is typically one of vexation and a futile struggle to reclaim lost sleep. This common perception frames the experience as a frustrating impediment, a disruption to one's essential rest. Such a view, however, inadvertently dismisses the potent significance of these moments, overlooking their profound spiritual potential. To truly engage with this unique temporal window requires a fundamental shift in perspective, elevating it from a mere annoyance to a sacred disruption. This reframing recognizes the awakening not as a problem to be fixed, but as an opening, a precious opportunity for higher engagement with one's inner landscape and the broader spiritual current. It is a chance to move beyond the limitations of conditioned responses and embrace a more expansive view of one's waking life. By choosing to perceive this early stir as a catalyst for spiritual exploration, rather than a mere inconvenience, the individual liberates themselves from frustration and unlocks a deeper dimension of self. This conscious reappraisal transforms a potentially irritating experience into a pivotal moment for profound personal and spiritual advancement. There exists an ancient wisdom, echoed across myriad spiritual traditions, that posits a unique permeability between the material and ethereal realms during the hours spanning 3 to 5 in the morning. At this liminal hour, the conventional veil that typically separates the tangible world from the subtle energetic currents of consciousness is believed to become remarkably thin, allowing for a more direct and unhindered reception of insight. This heightened permeability facilitates an extraordinary enhancement of intuition, a profound clarity of thought, and an amplified receptivity to the subtle energetic vibrations that permeate existence. Without the pervasive cacophony of daylight activities or the deep unconsciousness of heavier sleep cycles, the mind is rendered exquisitely sensitive to the nuanced whispers of cosmic intelligence and inner knowing. Consequently, engaging with this profound hour offers an unparalleled opportunity for deep connection and revelation. It is a time when the ordinary mind can transcend its usual limitations, accessing profound spiritual truths and insights that remain elusive during the more turbulent hours of the day. This is the moment for profound spiritual attunement. The foremost practice to embrace during this sacred pre-dawn interval is the stillness meditation, a profound commitment to cultivating inner quietude. This involves settling into a gentle, seated posture and redirecting awareness, not to specific objects or thoughts, but to the vast open expanse of consciousness itself. The objective is to transcend the incessant chatter of the mind, allowing a deep resonant peace to emerge from within. Through consistent engagement with this practice, one begins to hear the unspoken, the subtle wisdom and inherent truths that lie beneath the surface of ordinary perception. This deep inner stillness serves as a conduit to universal consciousness, fostering a profound sense of interconnectedness and revealing insights that elude the analytical mind. It is a journey into the deepest recesses of one's being, where ultimate tranquility resides. The benefits extend far beyond temporary calm. This meditation cultivates a foundational state of serenity that permeates one's entire being, influencing interactions and decisions throughout the day. It is the cornerstone of spiritual awakening, providing the internal spaciousness necessary to truly listen to the deeper callings of the soul. Following the initial period of deep stillness meditation, a subsequent practice of intuitive listening becomes paramount. This is not an active seeking or forcing of answers, but rather a cultivated receptivity, a passive, open posture of the mind and spirit, awaiting the gentle emergence of guidance from within. It requires a profound trust in the inherent wisdom that resides beyond intellectual formulation. During this period of profound quietude, insights, subtle directives, or an undeniable sense of inner knowing frequently surface with striking clarity. These communications may not manifest as explicit voices, but as profound understandings, sudden clarity on a perplexing issue, or an undeniable sense of the correct path forward. It is a direct dialogue with one's higher self or universal intelligence. The disciplined practice of intuitive listening refines one's capacity to discern the subtle whispers of spiritual wisdom from the clamor of ordinary thought. It cultivates an unshakable faith in one's internal compass, empowering the individual to navigate life's complexities with a serene confidence derived from an ever-deepening connection to inner truth. The profound efficacy of spiritual practices undertaken in the pre-dawn hours is subtly underscored by a nascent understanding from the domain of consciousness study. Research suggests that during these particular hours, the brain naturally transitions into specific wave states, notably theta and delta, which are highly conducive to deep meditative experiences, enhanced intuition, and access to subconscious process. These distinct brainwave patterns are intrinsically linked to states of profound relaxation, heightened receptivity, and an increased capacity for learning and assimilation of complex information beyond conscious reasoning. They provide a physiological foundation for the anecdotal spiritual experiences reported across millennia, offering a bridge between ancient wisdom and contemporary scientific inquiry. This burgeoning scientific perspective reinforces the understanding that engaging with these hours is not merely an act of mystical fantasy, but a harnessing of natural human capacities and neurobiological rhythm. It provides a grounded validation for the efficacy of these spiritual practices, demonstrating that the human system is inherently designed for moments of deep communion and expanded awareness. The second indispensable practice for these sacred hours is the meticulous art of sacred intention setting, a process of articulating a spiritual blueprint for one's life. This involves consciously formulating and writing down profound intentions, not only for one's personal growth, but also for the well-being of others and the broader tapestry of the world. This act transforms abstract desires into potent declarations of purpose. By committing these intentions to paper or affirming them silently in this consecrated hour, one imbues the nascent day with a profound spiritual purpose. Each articulated intention acts as a vibrational seed, meticulously aligning one's subsequent thoughts, words, and actions with their highest values and deepest aspirations. It transforms the mundane into the sacred, infusing every moment with meaning. This deliberate act of shaping the day's energetic trajectory ensures that one moves through life with unwavering clarity and conviction. It is a powerful exercise in co-creation, where personal will harmonizes with universal flow, setting a precise spiritual compass for the unfolding hours and influencing the very fabric of one's experience. Within the hushed sanctity of the pre-dawn hours, the articulation of intentions, whether through spoken affirmation or the deliberate act of writing, acquires an amplified potency. This is rooted in the understanding that words, when infused with conscious intent and uttered in a state of heightened awareness, possess a profound vibratory power that shapes reality. The very act of giving form to a desire imbues it with an energetic charge. By meticulously crafting these intentions and releasing them into the quiet canvas of the morning, one is actively establishing a precise vibrational blueprint for the day's unfold. This deliberate act of spiritual engineering lays the energetic groundwork for circumstances and opportunities to align with one's stated purpose, transforming abstract aspiration into tangible potential. This practice underscores the immense creative power inherent in conscious expression. It teaches that the mindful engagement with language, particularly in moments of profound stillness, can serve as a direct conduit for manifestation, drawing one's spiritual goals into the realm of lived experience with greater clarity and swiftness. One of the singular advantages of setting intentions in the profound quietude of the early morning is the pristine purity of the unburdened self. Before the mind becomes enmeshed in the day's myriad concerns, societal expectations, and the accumulating detritus of external demands, intentions articulated in this space emerge from a place of profound authenticity, untainted by the usual mental clutter. This pre-dawn clarity offers a direct and unfiltered channel to one's most authentic spiritual aspiration. Without the noise and distractions that typically cloud judgment, The core desires of the soul can surface with crystalline precision, allowing one to align intentions with their deepest values and most profound calling, rather than with fleeting desires or external pressures. Thus, the sacredness of this hour lies in its capacity to strip away superficiality, revealing the fundamental truths of one's being. Intentions set from this space of unburdened clarity possess an inherent power and resonance, ensuring that the trajectory of the day, and indeed one's life, remains truly aligned with one's highest spiritual purpose. The third vital practice for these sacred hours involves a conscious offering, a small yet profound act of reverence or energetic contribution that transcends personal gain. This could manifest as a silent blessing directed towards the world, the mindful preparation and consumption of a simple cup of water offered with gratitude, or even a single breath consciously inhaled and exhaled as a gesture of deep appreciation for life itself. This practice embodies the profound principle of giving, without expectation, an act of pure altruism that extends beyond self-interest. It is a gesture of spiritual generosity, an acknowledgement of one's interconnectedness with all existence, where the energy released is a testament to an expansive, benevolent spirit, freely given without anticipating immediate return. The power of such a conscious offering lies not in its scale, but in its inherent intention. Even the most seemingly diminutive act, when performed with profound mindfulness and a spirit of interconnectedness, can create vast energetic ripple. It is akin to a single drop falling into the ocean of universal consciousness, subtly yet profoundly impacting the collective field and fostering a deeper sense of humility and belonging. At the heart of the conscious offering lies the profound principle of pure altruism, the act of giving without any expectation of reciprocation or personal gain. This selfless gesture, performed in the quiet sanctity of the early hours, cultivates a rare and powerful spiritual quality. It transcends the transactional nature of much human interaction, elevating the act of contribution to its highest form. This practice fundamentally reinforces a selfless spirit, gradually expanding the confines of the individual ego and fostering a boundless compassion for all beings. By directing one's energy outward in an act of unconditional offering, the heart is subtly yet profoundly opened, cultivating a sense of universal interconnectedness and empathy. The true potency of giving without expectation lies in its transformative effect on the giver. It releases the burden of attachment to outcomes, instilling a deep sense of peace and liberating joy that arises from pure, unadulterated generosity. This act becomes a living testament to one's evolving spiritual maturity and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of the greater whole. It is a profound truth that even the most seemingly insignificant actions, when imbued with conscious intention and undertaken in a state of heightened awareness during these pre-dawn hours, can generate astonishingly potent energetic ripple. A single moment of focused gratitude, a silently offered blessing, or a mindfully observed breath, though small in scale, carries immense spiritual weight. This concept illustrates that impact is not solely determined by magnitude, but is profoundly influenced by resonance and purity of intent. Like a precisely tuned string on an instrument, a small, clear vibration can set off harmonious echoes across a vast energetic field. These subtle contributions accumulate, gradually shaping one's inner landscape and subtly influencing the external environment. Therefore, the practice teaches that one need not undertake grand gestures to effect profound change. Instead, it emphasizes the immense transformative power embedded within consistent, conscious, and seemingly small acts of spiritual generosity. These quiet contributions become the building blocks of a life lived in profound alignment with universal principles, creating lasting positive resonance. To consistently disregard the subtle promptings and unique opportunities presented during these sacred pre-dawn hours carries a profound consequence: the risk of missing one's inherent spiritual calling. When these internal summons are repeatedly dismissed as mere disruptions or inconvenient awakenings, a vital conduit for deeper personal and spiritual growth remains unutilized, gradually diminishing its signal. This persistent inattention leads to a subtle yet pervasive sense of unfulfilled potential, a quiet yearning for something more that remains perpetually out of reach. Life, while perhaps outwardly successful, can feel devoid of a deeper resonance, a crucial dimension of purpose remaining untapped. The vibrant, expansive journey of spiritual evolution is sidelined, leaving an indelible imprint of what could have been. Ultimately, the peril of disregard is not a dramatic fall, but a gradual dimming, a life lived below its true capacity, untouched by the profound awakenings that beckon in the silence. It is a quiet forfeiture of inherent wisdom and guidance, leading to a path shaped more by external pressures than by the authentic whispers of one's soul. Consistent engagement with the prescribed practices during these specific pre-dawn hours catalyses a profound and irreversible awakening of the soul. This is not merely an intellectual understanding, but an experiential transformation that permeates every fiber of one's being. The superficial layers of self begin to recede, revealing the luminous essence of one's true spiritual nature. This inner shift marks a profound transition from a purely mundane existence to a life richly infused with spiritual depth and meaning. Daily activities become imbued with purpose, relationships deepen with greater empathy, and challenges are met with a newfound resilience born of inner peace. The world itself appears vibrant, seen through the refined lens of awakened consciousness. The awakening of the soul is a continuous process, initiated and nurtured by these dedicated practices. It is a journey from unconscious living to profound awareness, where the individual becomes a living embodiment of the wisdom and compassion cultivated in the quiet of dawn, radiating an undeniable sense of purpose and inner harmony. The diligent practice within these specific pre-dawn hours serves as an unparalleled compass, meticulously revealing the unique contours of one's spiritual journey. In the profound silence and clarity cultivated, the next steps on the path become discernible, often as intuitive insights, or a deep inner knowing, rather than explicit instructions. It is a subtle yet powerful guidance system. Learning to trust this internal compass, which is unveiled through consistent engagement, becomes a cornerstone of spiritual navigation. The initial whispers of intuition grow into a clear, unwavering voice, empowering the individual to make choices aligned with their highest spiritual aspirations, even when those choices diverge from conventional expectations. Thus, these sacred hours become a continuous dialogue with the deeper self, where the unfolding path is not prescribed by external authority, but discovered and illuminated from within. This profound self-guidance liberates the individual to walk a truly authentic spiritual journey, imbued with personal meaning and unwavering direction. To approach the consistent practice during these sacred hours, not as a burdensome chore, but as an act of profound devotion, fundamentally alters its very essence. When discipline is reframed as an expression of love and reverence for one's own spiritual evolution, the perceived effort transforms into a deeply meaningful and fulfilling commitment. It is a sacred vow taken to oneself and to the higher principles one seeks to embody. This conscious shift in perspective imbues every action with heightened significance. The choice to rise, to meditate, to set intentions, to offer gratitude, each becomes a tangible expression of profound reverence for the unfolding spiritual journey. It transcends mere habit, becoming a conscious participation in one's divine potential. Ultimately, viewing discipline as devotion cultivates an unwavering commitment to self-mastery. It is a testament to the profound understanding that true spiritual growth demands consistent intentional engagement, and that the greatest acts of devotion are often those performed in the quiet solitude of one's being, refining the self into an instrument of higher purpose. An undeniable truth reverberates across all human experience. The inherent spiritual yearning within every individual eventually demands recognition and attention. This profound calling, often subtle in its initial manifestations, gradually intensifies, urging one towards a deeper understanding of existence and a life imbued with greater purpose. It is an intrinsic pull towards higher consciousness that cannot be perpetually ignored. The wisdom of engaging with the pre-dawn hours lies in recognizing and answering this spiritual call promptly. To respond now, rather than deferring the invitation, prevents the insidious accumulation of regret and a life lived short of its true potential. Proactive engagement with one's spiritual dimensions averts the poignant realization of missed opportunities later in life. Thus, the awakening between 3 and 5 a.m. becomes a pivotal moment, a clear and present opportunity to align with this inevitable calling. To embrace it is to choose a path of conscious evolution, ensuring that one's life unfolds in harmony with its deepest spiritual imperative, rather than allowing the soul's profound yearnings to remain unaddressed. The ultimate imperative is to cease dismissing these unique pre-dawn awakenings as mere happenstance or inconvenient interruption. Instead, embrace them with profound reverence, recognizing them as a sacred trust, a direct, unparalleled opportunity presented by the universe for deep spiritual engagement and self-realization. This conscious acceptance transforms a challenge into a profound gift. The path ahead lies in deliberate action, to diligently engage with the stillness meditation, to consciously articulate sacred intentions, and to perform the conscious offering. These three practices, when consistently applied, unlock the potent spiritual potential of these hours, guiding one towards a life of profound alignment with their highest calling. By choosing to lean into this sacred opportunity rather than shrink from it, one embarks upon a transformative journey. The outcome is a life not merely lived, but profoundly experienced,
one infused with an undeniable sense of purpose, radiating an inner peace that transcends circumstance, and resonating with the quiet power of a soul fully awake and attuned to its spiritual destiny.